Hey folks, how's it going? It is Wednesday. Hope you've had a good week so far. We're using Blender today. Gonna carry on with our rock golem. See how far we get. Hopefully you can have it basically animated and looking kind of like a rock golem by the end of the stream. That'll be quite nice. But it's good practice really to try and understand Blender and the whole process of creating a model, kind of rigging it, animating it and so forth. But I will get there, and hopefully my goal is hopefully to get a workflow that means I can churn these things out a lot quicker. Do excuse me for a moment, I'm just going to tidy the end of the beard a little bit. Got a little bit undone. There you go, I should do it, I think. Just got to hold it in place a bit better. Right, switch over to the main screen. Not a main menu, this isn't the game. Main screen. We've got our armature that we were looking at here. I might have to redo this. But this is what we basically put together right at the end of that stream. But before we get going, let's just get some music in the background. I don't tend to end up listening to a lot of music these days. Like, I really do enjoy music. But the problem is, I don't get time to sit and chill and listen to it. So I listen to, the longest time I'm listening to any music is usually sat talking to you guys. So that's more suitable. Yeah, this one sounds okay. There we go, that fits our vibe. There's a nice little beat in the background. Just make sure our bot works. There we go, there's the panda. Awesome. Okay, I'm a little funny about the fact that these are squish, but I think at the end of the day, as long as the 2 points there, hopefully it shouldn't have an issue, but we can always re-rig it if we have to. And we can do with attaching the armature to the actual thing, so I don't think that is the case at the moment. Shift J, Alt J, just J, can't remember. Join. Something about we want to do it with weights, don't we? Go to pose mode, for instance. Yes, none of it's weighted. I want to do something. What's the thing? What's the thing? It's something with weights, isn't it? It's Is it link? So Control L. Link connections. You have to Google it. Do apologise. What I need to do is just get a load of random models and just practice rigging them, I think. What the hell's going on here? Select the mesh, select the armature, then press Ctrl P. So mesh, armature, Ctrl P, automatic weights. Cool. Now where's the thing for showing showing it through? Because things are so contextual, it's is it crashed? Oh yeah, it's just hanging. Actually, knowing what? I wasn't searching for anything. There's some lovely models, not particularly in need of anything. Thank you. Urban Male NPC. That's cool. So I could do things like this: download random meshes and just attach armatures, and it's amazing what some people can do in Blender. Yeah, I might download things like this free kind of humanoid meshes and just randomly rig them. Yeah, it's not quite what I was after. Thank you. I was doing something else. So viewport display. Is it in viewport display? Bendy bones. There it is, show in front. So it's knowing where that is, so that's under Object Data Properties. And not under Bone or anything else. So Object Data Properties, Viewport Display, and then Show in Front. So if I now do that and go to Weight Painting, so that seems pretty sorted there. That one can do with, well, that's weighted on the back. So this weight painting is completely off. Although that one's not bad. That's kind of mashed up fine there. That's mashed up fine. And to a certain extent, the middle bit's fine. And this one, for instance, it's not really weight painted well. But why can't I paint? Change the object in the current mode. Ooh, bone weights. Hey, Teeny Tortoise, how's it going? Trying to refamiliarize myself with weight painting. So that bone is sticking forward a bit. I don't want to do actually moving that back. Yeah, bone weights. So therefore I can just paint it, but even though I've got the painting tool, touching the model is not doing anything. Good, you? I hate weight painting. I'm doing alright. It's been a good week so far. Can't complain at all. But yeah, weight painting. I had a bit of fun rigging the Trebuchet in my in the game I'm working on, because the Trebuchet was a static prop item I downloaded as part of a pack. So I dismantled it a little bit, changed the model so it was wasn't attached at certain points, so it's kind of two pieces, rigged it, did all the weight painting, which took me ages, but I was able to actually make a animator, sort of a Trebuchet that's animated from a static prop. I was quite happy about converting that. But there's certain things that aren't intuitive with Blender, like, okay, I'm in weight paint mode, I've selected the bone that I would like to do the weight painting on, but I can't weight paint. So I'm going to have to Google that one again. So it's these kind of things that slow me down a little bit. What is going on? Oh, question. If it were just two static objects, why didn't you just code the animation without making a rig? Why didn't code the animation? It's really, well, in my mind, rigging it applied constraints, like it can only move wherever the rig would allow it to move. Rather than going, well, I need to sort of try and guarantee the rotations act in the correct way manually. So rigged it so it could move in constraint, and then put it into Unity and did the animation in Unity. Plus it was the first thing I've ever rigged. You know what parenting is for? Parenting of objects? Yeah, I'd say it was one object, but I split it into two. Yeah, parenting of objects. Yeah, not done much of that. Hey, boss, how's it going? Good to see you. Hope you're having a good week. Let's try this once more. I've replaced the keyboard on my laptop. And I thought, excellent, it should work now, but clearly some of the keys don't after I test it. Which is annoying. There we go. I only have to do a little drop in. Kind of busy. It's Wednesday, got shit ton of work to do. Go stream drunk. Okie dokie, thank you for dropping in. Teeny Totas, it's good to see you as always. Thanks for taking the time out to drop in. We'll see you again soon. Let's just see what I'm missing here. I don't have to watch a tutorial every time I want to do something in Blender. But it does kind of feel like that at the moment. Let's read the manual. I think I'm reading the manual. It tells you the minute detail of what is happening. Is that information overload? I don't need to know all of this. I just want to be able to click. So the Blender official Blender manual isn't very useful. Brushes. Don't really care about brush type. I know how a brush works. Do a dance. Hey Jeffrey, how's it going? Good to see you. I hope you're having a good week. Yeah, this manual is not helpful in the slightest. You have to watch a YouTube video. It's quite frustrating because I remember sort of like, I know shift clicking is supposed to be able to select the bones. Oh, it's working now. That was not working. No, it doesn't work again. Select bone. Playing SpongeBob game, nice. Weird. Hello! Hey Cobbler, how's it going? Good to see you. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. Panda. Looks like YouTube chat not working. Oh. Hey, Spot had to make a Twitch account because YouTube's bugged. Oh. Yeah, after the last message I got there was Restreambot. Has YouTube failed? My stream's not loading on YouTube. Let's give that a refresh. No, I think the stream's dropped on YouTube. Why is that? Well, thank you for making the effort, Phoenix AK Bot. What is going on with that? It says a message, but only the first one went through. Yeah, I can see. Like you said, hey there, and then the stream hasn't been active since. Yeah, it just completely dropped. I apologise for that. I died. Oh no. Strange. Yeah. I can probably try start and stop again. It's noise in the mic, at least for my... By the way, there's some noise in the mic, at least for my taste. Can be, use noise suppression in OBS or software. It might be... Tell you what. It's probably my laptop that's sat right here, which I'm using for references. Let's move this a bit further away from the mic. Still seeing it though. Still low. It says something about the laptop's keyboard. Yeah, I replaced the laptop keyboard because there's filtering the mic. Yeah, let's stop trying to do multiple things at the same time. Let's go to microphone. Where's my microphone object? There it is. Filters and mic. Filters. There's the filter option. Never had to use a filter one before. It's usually okay, but this laptop's getting very noisy. I hope this doesn't tank the stream, because this could be... Yes. Oh yeah, look at that. What a difference. Cool. Well, thank you for that tip. I shall move my laptop back over then. So comfortable for my ears. Yeah, I do neglect the audio because I don't feed it back to myself, so I don't hear it. Yeah, even if I... Oops, clicking the casing back on the laptop. Not the laptop, just the room noise in general. Yeah. It probably doesn't help that my PC is literally right here. So it's probably picking up the noise from the PC, and the laptop's making noise as well. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I never considered that. Stream has been upgraded. It's definitely a difference between fan noise and mic noise. Okay. Has YouTube come back? Why is Restreambot still doing stuff? Still posting in the YouTube chat, but then I'm not streaming. Odd. Very odd. I don't know how to get the stream back without stopping the stream here and resetting up again. Oh well. All you lovely folk are over here now. So yeah, thank you for sticking by it. I'm glad the microphone's better now. So I've got some weight paint going on. Why are you weight painting? Because the automatic weights didn't work. Like, it worked for some of the bones. This one was just some of them. But yeah, usually automatic weight painting will do the job. Like, it's done it for that one, done it for that one, done it for that. It's done it for that one. Yeah, to a certain degree it's done it for those as well. Yeah, some of the bones it's worked for. And like that one there, it's only done the one side of it. I mean, what's the point of it? Oh, why the bones look squeezed on the y-axis? Because they are. I was lazy and I basically scaled. It died again. Oh no. I basically scaled the armature rather than maneuver it. So rather than kind of placing the bones in position, I just kind of scaled it so it roughly matched the shape. But by doing so, it's kind of swished them. So yeah, they are in fact squeezed on the one axis, but I can't unsqueeze them, like without scaling the whole thing again, which is a bit weird. Although could I probably scale them individually, but I'm happy with their height. It's just their kind of, yeah, it's the rest of it. Let's make sure my Twitch stream is looking okay. See how on YouTube it's down. Don't do rigging, so I'm learning with you here. Oh, okay. Yeah, like I was lazy with the rigging. Like, ideally, what you should do the rigging. You can either do it manually, which I did in this case, which is kind of draw one bone, attach another bone, attach another bone, attach another bone. Do it for half the model, and then mirror it to the other side. Or Blender does allow you to generate a like a template rig, a basic humanoid rig, which is this one, or you have a advanced humanoid rig. I think I will never do rigging without an add-on, maybe like Auto Rig Pro add-on. Ooh. Yeah, there's so many cool add-ons which make your life so much easier. I said this basic rig comes as part of Blender, but it doesn't do any of the work for you. It just kind of makes the rig, and then you have to position it over your model, attach it, make sure it's weighted correctly. But there's add-ons out there that's a bit smarter than what's built into Blender. If you're weight painting, it can be so fiddly. Yeah, it's like it's under the object menu called armature. Yes. Only rigged with a piece of software called Auto Rig or something, because I don't want to get into manually rigging. I've heard of Auto Rig, yeah. I only have one add-on to Blender, which is what was it called? Can't even see it. It's a thing for textures and models and stuff. So it just allows you to download, hides these add-ons. normally up there. I don't think it's in weight paint mode. But this allows me to just grab community models and textures. A friend of mine recommended to me, because he does a lot of Blender. He goes, well, if you just want a nice community texture for something, just type into the search and it just comes up with all these textures people have uploaded. Which is pretty cool. Hey Lisa, how's it going? I sell emotes. Sell the best emotes. All those awesome emotes there. I'll probably do bring the strength down, and the radius down. So in theory, yeah, that's a bit better. This should be a pretty quick process. It should be like click, 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 click. Got the weights where you want them to be. Move on. But because weight painting is dependent on the vertices, the more vertices you have, the more finer detail to the weight painting. Like, I don't have a lot of vertices going on, so the detail in which I can weight paint is more limited. See, that leg's done it automatically. That leg's done automatically. So if you add the armature to the mesh with automatic weights, it kind of makes a guess as to what it should be manipulating. And in this case, it's done a pretty good guess, because you go, well, if I click on that bone, it goes, well, I think I need to manipulate this with that bone, manipulate that with that bone, manipulate this with that bone. Watching Queen of the South. I'm in episode 5 of season 3. There's 5 seasons in total. I have till March 8th to watch it legally on Netflix. After that, probably different legal sites. You're there, Cobbler. Thanks for lurking, hang out, enjoy your lurk. My binge skills are being tested. Yes, I think if you're capable of a full-on binge watch, you can really maximize your paid subscriptions. I've thought about that with some subscription services. Okay, there's a series I want to watch, so I know it comes out episodically, so I'm thinking, well, I won't pay for the service until it's fully released and then go crazy and watch a lot. So yeah, I could probably do mirroring those. I'm great at binging, but this is a challenge. Episodes are like 40 minutes each. Yeah, something like that. Naturally, I'd watch that in like one episode a week. But then that's, for how many episodes you got, that's going to be most of a year. So it's not really feasible. Okay, that's got some kind of weights on it now. I've only watched 2 today. I'm on the 3rd right now. Wow, that is impressive. I started after dinner, so like 7. Now, I don't think I'd have the kind of the patience to stick with something for that long in one go. 3 yesterday evening. Well, I don't know, it depends. There's some things out there where it's like, well, I enjoy the show so much that I was quite happy to just keep watching it. Yeah, I can understand that. Ooh, funky here. Not quite what I had in mind, but So that's better. I think one of these bones must be attached to there somewhere. We watched the entire Community series in less than a week. So we both can binge watch. Nice. I don't mind this rig being a little bit weird because I'm thinking of eventually hiding most of this. I just want to have a stable structure underneath it to actually work with. So what I need is probably some more vertices to allow it to manipulate without too much craziness, or maybe just reapply the weight painting a little bit more sparsely. Stranger Things season 5 finale released like 3 a.m. for me, and I wasn't willing to wait and sleep, so I watched the whole of Rick and Morty season 8 before Stranger Things. Nice. I need to catch up on Rick and Morty. I think I'm still on season 5, season 4, halfway through season 5, I think. Because I remember, because annoyingly they released Rick and Morty in half seasons. So it's like, oh, there's a break. So I watched the first half, like binge watched the first half, and then I was waiting for the second half to come out. Completely forgot about it and just didn't go back. But I need to catch up on Stranger Things as well, because I'm quite far behind on Stranger Things. Low-key jealous of you only be on season 5. Yeah, there's so many crazy things in that show. I'm a big fan of Rick and Morty. I have a number of Rick and Morty bits and bobs around. I think the only thing to hand in here. Put it up there. Put it up there. Oh no, I've got other things. I got a couple of random things about. I have a Wasp Rick pop figure, which is pretty cool. Very cool. Yeah, I like this one. I like the episode with Wasp Whip Rick, jumping for the different dimensions. You got different random versions. I just sat there eating the school teacher. Just finished the story of the game. Now side things and 100% it. Nice. Really cool. The only thing I've got to hand in here, I've got a few things elsewhere in the house, but I've got a Pickle Rick water bottle. Pickle Rick! I do have a Pickle Rick pop figure as well, but that's in the other room. That was a nice episode, yeah. That was a fun episode. I enjoyed that one as well. But yeah, Pickle Rick water bottle. It's not a great quality. You can if I squeeze it, it bends. That's how kind of cheap the plastic is, and you can see that the silver paint is coming off. I've not even used this. I've filled it with water a couple of times. It's cheap, but it's official. But that's pretty cool. You know, I've got a Pickle Rick pop figure where he's got the two laser guns. I got a few other random Rick and Morty stuff, but yeah, really enjoy it. But I'm only on season 5. So I would like to catch up on Stranger Things, because I know a lot of people that enjoy Stranger Things, and I've watched enough to know what's going on, but I'm still way behind. Okay, so we have to do some adjustments to the weight painting. Something's gone wrong somewhere. Because once I'm happy with the way this moves, I'm then going to attach rocks to this kind of skeleton. And what I'd like to set it up as is that the rocks themselves don't have any warping or manipulation. That the rocks themselves stay a solid rock, but then the mesh underneath it manipulates. Does that make sense? Because I've seen some examples of rock golems in video games, and despite the fact they are made of rock, the rock still kind of seemingly stretches and contracts and bends, which you understand it because it's a 3D mesh, and the mesh kind of bends as it animates. I can understand why it's doing that, but I want to avoid that by making it look like the rocks themselves are solid and they're moving around each other, not that it's just something that looks like it's rock and it's solid, but it's bendy still somehow. So that's my thinking about what I'm doing here. Otherwise, I could just make something that looks like it's made of rock, and then add an armature and just make it animate. So that's kind of where I'm going with this. It might not be the best way of doing it. There might be better ways, but I'm going with this way. And then, as I get more experience, I might find better ways as I go. Right. Model weight paint. Ah, there we go. So because that bone joint is close to this is where we have the issue. So I can't remember who mentioned it last stream, but somebody mentioned about putting it into a T-pose to avoid such things. T-poses do end up making things a lot easier, but they did kind of warn that this might happen. But like this one, for instance, probably shouldn't. That's how we learn, indeed. Yeah, I'm seeing how this goes. Like, I never know. So somebody may have never done it this way before, and not because it doesn't work, but maybe because they didn't think it's the best way of doing it. And if it does work, bonus. And what am I missing here? Does it need to be a higher strength? Why is that? So this is what's confusing me. Maybe again I need more vertices for it to actually. That is not actually doing anything. Anyway, let's go back to object mode. Go to edit mode. Because I've gone for very, very minimal vertices, and I think that's actually harming the process. So we go subdivide. Hopefully that gives me a little bit more to work with. Not quite what I was after. Okay, it's no longer attached to the hip. Doing a weird thing with the elbow. Let's try this one. Is that attached to anything? Nope, that's now free. I think what quite the rig you got there. Thank you. So because it's the weight painting, the weights are a bit too high up, it's kind of manipulating it higher. So I need to kind of reduce the amount of influence that has. Again, yeah, it's probably influencing the mesh up there a bit too much. It's not a million miles away. So then why it's stretching so much though? That's the only thing. Maybe because of the way I've done it with the bones, and the bones are stretched. I might have to end up redoing this because I might have messed it up. Clearly something is not quite right there. Because that's a... that doesn't look too bad. That kind of manipulates as I would expect it to. Move it this way. To a degree. Now it's still warping quite a bit. I had that before, didn't I? Can't remember how I got around it. Getting like this. The head doesn't quite function as I would expect either. It also works fine. That's perfect. Apart from the shoulders being warped, that's okay. Be right back, okie dokie. See you shortly. So I probably just need to minimize the weight and certain things again. This should have nothing to do with the hips. The leg is not manipulating it. I know you can do some vertex grouping, and that kind of makes this whole process far easier. You basically pre-group, which is what I ended up doing for my trebuchet, actually. I ended up grouping so many vertices together, because it took me ages to try and get the weight painting correct. I just ended up just making vertex groups and go, well, this group is one solid piece, this group is another solid piece. And then go, okay, manipulate that whole group, manipulate this group. This bone down here shouldn't have as much influence on the upper part as it does. It would be nice if we could actually see the there we go. This data is actually stored on the vertices, the vertices. So each kind of individual point on this grid has data for the weight, and then that weight is then calculated across the face based on the values of each of the vertices. You tend to find the painting works better when you're painting near the vertice, so you're reducing its value. Yeah, sticking this mode on where you can actually see the grid, it makes life a bit easier. You can see where you're actually influencing. And see how quick it is to actually start painting when you know where the values actually are. Effectively all I'm doing is saying this vertex here, just reduce that number. So as when you paint, like a sweeping paint, you're kind of saying, well, I want the values at this point to equal a certain amount, and it kind of calculates, okay, to get that amount, the following vertices need to be reduced or increased. We can't forget the inside there. That's perfect, see. So most influence at the end of the arm, where the hand would be. And then a little bit influence towards where the actual joint is. In theory, you put the weight up. You actually want high manipulation around the center of this. Yeah, probably don't want as much weight going on up the top here. Yeah, the shoulders don't need to have any influence applied to them. You consider this is going to be quite robotic in its movement, I suppose. Very mechanical. Which would be an advantage because I actually get around to making more robotic golems. The animation would be the same. Like, effectively what I can do with this, if I get this skeleton working perfectly, I can then save it as its own file and make a number of golems from it. That's what I'm thinking. Just kind of redress the golem with different themes, different outer parts, and then effectively have multiple golems that are functionally are the same underneath. So that's where I'm trying to aim to save a bit of time and effort through making this game, is give myself a really solid foundational thing to work off. And I'm back. Welcome back, Phoenix aka Bot. Yeah, so that's kind of what I want to go for, is just build a lot of foundational elements that I can just reuse. So this golem skeleton would be a good foundation for all types of golem. You don't quite need so much influence over here. Again, it's very stiff, doesn't move much. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. It's always nice to see so many wonderful faces, wonderful names. But don't really need that bit there again, because the golems are very stiff in their movement. So I've kind of gone for this very blocky frame. Need to there we go. That's what I'm aiming for there. Just a nice hot spot in the middle there. Again, you're not going to see this mesh. I just want it to maneuver itself cleanly. Like this, realistically, the head should not be moving the shoulders. Like its head will turn. It will not be nodding necessarily because, again, it's a rock golem. They can't particularly nod. They don't have a neck. It's literally a head on some shoulders. But I will leave a little bit of influence down there. Definitely don't want the shoulders being brought into this. I suppose the problem about having a neck is that it you haven't got a hinge point or a rotational point for it to actually manipulate around. Let's just make the make that a nice hot spot in the middle there. And do the we want, for definite, we want this top part of the mesh to be influenced by a bone. I suppose by doing that as well, it pushes down towards the what would be the neckline quite naturally. Okay, so we've got the head in there. Quite happy with those two. Although seeing that, you can see just a little bit of weight there. So could probably do a little bit better on these by just putting hot spots right in the center. I definitely don't want to see hot spots over there though. You can see it again on that one. Let's just go around the on the leg and we'll clear the hot spots where they're not needed. Is that the end of the music stream? Reserve clear. Is there any more music playing? It's loading. Well, it still seems to be live, so it's not a an issue with. Oh, there we go. No? Okay, that's fine with the stream. There we go, we'll do that one. Let's put a nice bit of hot spot on these. Fortunately, it hasn't taken me too long to reacquaint myself with how the weight painting works. The problem is, because I'm not doing a lot of it in one go, I completely forget how to do it every time I go to do it. So as I say, what I'd like to do is just get a load of random free meshes, download them, open them up, and then just rig a load of stuff. Make some fun, crazy sort of animated meshes that shouldn't really be animated. And from that, I should hopefully learn a bit better flow for rigging stuff and weight painting it. Now, you don't really need to feet in a rock column, but I was thinking, well, what could it have some feet? Could I do like a slate flat bit for the feet? But then my vision in my head was it's just like a solid circular stone as the foot, and it is just a series of rocks and stones being held together by some magical force. And it is in fact not a living creature in that kind of sense. Oh, I see any problem in it. I've seen a lot of rock golems which just look like they're not made of rock, but their skin is like rock-like. Unfortunately, I have to go to bed. Good night. I hope you work out the model. Thank you, Phoenix. Good to see you in chat. Hope you have a good evening. Have a good rest. I'll see you next time. Because we'll get there. That's going to be nice. I have to reduce the influence there because it's touching, so that's a mistake on my part for not making it a T-pose naturally. But I was thinking of it as a of how it would sit naturally otherwise. But once I'm happy with the weight painting, I could probably T-pose it that way. Okay, let's go back to there. Model rig pose mode. Still don't know why it's doing it in that kind of fashion. It's better, not great, but it's better. And that still seems to have some influence from there. Well, I might do them. Let's make life a little bit easier. Yeah, I can see it there. There it is. Now, the shoulders, perfect. They do what I expect that to do. Go back to object mode. Select the model, go to edit. There we go, that's why we do it. I do retain some. I do retain some knowledge of skills on Blender. And the more I come back and redo certain things, the more it's going to stick. Let's move that out 2 blocks. I suppose what is beneficial with it being a rock garden is that it doesn't have to have a strict kind of shape to it. I don't know, so it's just that bit there I was after. So most of my cup of tea here. We're doing for time. We're approaching an hour and 25. Still got at least half an hour to go. Always got to keep an eye on the time. Don't want to over push myself here. Now looking at this, don't think I need these. I think these are actually parts of the nipples or the chest. So these two could go. There's no point having extra bones, they're not doing anything. Same with these really. We'll leave them in there for the moment. Okay, weight painting should be a little bit easier now. So it is it rig model? Yes. Not quite a T-pose, but it's better than what we had before. I want that hip to have a full influence in that. Probably not so much in the centre, to be honest. That's kind of what the tailbone is supposed to be about. Just kind of that hot in the corner there. Not that we'd ever really use these bones, I don't think. But that's the thing with trying to get some kind of automatic weighting on a non-standard model like this becomes a little bit awkward. Because how's it supposed to know how to influence a non-standard kind of shape? Let's say it. Like these weights down here. So most likely not going to be using these bones. It's better to know the weight painting is correct. So I don't suddenly get some weird stuff happening. So again, the ideal thing here would be for me to do all the weight painting on one side and mirror it. I know this. Nice. So a quick check. Be right back, okie dokie. Enjoy your dog walk. Nice hot spot around that one. Same this one. Quite happy for that collarbone to influence this entire section. Yeah, that has no influence. That, yeah, okay with that. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the weight painting. What I'm slightly confused by is the way it actually manipulates it though. Do a quick Google on that. happening up. Let's see what this has to say. Posing armature causes mesh to stretch. Yeah, it's not quite the same problem I'm having. It's moving. This person here, it's a really cool model. This person here, that it moves, but some of it gets left behind. That's not the issue, it's moving. Ah, that's what I want. It's rotation. Rotation stretches and mesh. Okay, I need to apply scale. Okay. Control A. Okay. Select that. Control A. Apply scale. Aha! Aha ha ha. Right. Rig, mesh, up, mesh, rig, pose. Perfect. There's some weird stuff going on, but we can fix that. After effects, I should really probably make this a bit more curved there. Assuming that corner there is not working well. Okay. I said it smash a little bit. Yes, there's still some weight paint issues going on there, but that seems to be better on the inside. Yeah, probably not going to ever use that. Although it would be useful for it to actually rotate at this point. So maybe we could do it moving that bone up to here, so it rotates from this point, not from that point. go edit. Bring it up to there. Does mean having to redo the weights a little bit. I think that's more realistic. Bring this down a little bit. Yeah, each bone is about 2 blocks, and each block is 3. So that's a square set. Move that up a little bit there. For the most part, these are still going to be correct. When it comes to these weight paints though. You know how you clear a weight paint for something? Moving all weight paint on a bone. In mode, select everything, go to properties panel, object data triangle, so go to vertex group. The vertex group is named exactly like a bone, set weight to 0. select that, go to edit mode. And properties panel object data, which is object data, yes. Bone groups. Vertex groups. Data properties. Edit mode, select the whole model, induce a scene, select mode, object mode, object data green vertex triangle above the material editor. Back, welcome back. Green vertex triangle above material editor. What? Yeah, edit mode. Select the whole model. Yes. Go to object data. Yes, green vertex triangle. It's obviously very old. Above the material editor, go to vertex group. Click to require button. Remove button under vertex group pane. This removes all weight. I'm pretty sure this is probably for something that's way older than this. Yeah, this is 10 years old, this information. No good to me. So where's the vertex groups then? Play me some grindcore gangster rap. Yeah, maybe when I come to a bit more action on the maybe for animating, we can do some grindcore for animation. So where would this be then? It's suggesting there's a bone group or a vertex group. Where's the vertex group going? Is it in here instead? Go edit mode. Ah, here we go. So it is phi Find the vertex group we want, select it, remove it. No script required. Ooh, okay, what's this? Boneless animation. Select a bone. Weights. Quantize. So it is phi left. Zero. Then go back to that. Weights. Okay, so we can select it there. Okay. So we can select the phi. There's a thing on their screen here that oh, there it is. Vertex group levels, weights. Ah, it pops down the bottom, gotcha. Okay. So quantize, click on that. Active group. Quantize vertex weights. Levels. Oh, okay. So levels, that's the one I'm after. Been working for 2 weeks on my new grindcore. Got 4 songs. Nice. So far, nice. Totaling about 4 minutes, I guess. Since grindcore was short. That's cool. Active group. Ah, awesome. And that's what I was after. Since growing influential and regarding many as founders of the genre, British band Napalm Death has the world record for shortest song ever recorded. Yes, I remember that actually. Yeah, Napalm Death are quite fun. I think I might have seen them live. They've been at Download before. Right, levels. So we have to redo these a little bit because I've moved their bones around a little bit. So we now want the foot to actually control the bottom. Even though I do love Napalm Death, even covering my favourite song by them on stage with my favourite band, all-time favourite grind band is Insect Warfare. Well, that sounds cool. Band wanted to do a different song as a cover song. I pushed for Napalm Death since I love Napalm Death. Cool. Napalm Death from Birmingham. I'm thinking of someone else. we're doing for time. Still looking good. Of course, the thigh bone would have a slight influence on the hip there, so that looks perfect to me. I have pretty long sleeves of both Napalm Death and Insect Warfare. Never see them shared in the t-shirt show. It's warm weather, so not long sleeve, yeah. I'm generally not a fan of long sleeve anything at any time. But I do have one long sleeve shirt. One? Two? I think I've got two long sleeve shirts that I will wear when it's very cold. I actually prefer long sleeves, nice. Now I've got a an Assassin's Creed Origins or Odyssey. I can't remember. I got the Assassin's Creed long sleeve for either Origins or Odyssey. But again, don't wear that very often because my arms are quite bulky. I've got quite a chunky arm, so it kind of like I can feel it restricting around my arm. I think my other long sleeve is another Assassin's Creed actually. I've got two Assassin's Creed ones from different games. So I like them because they're Assassin's Creed, not because they're long sleeve. Don't think I've ever shared a t-shirt I wear today. Yes, it's new. Oh, cool. I haven't shared t-shirts for so long now because I end up wearing the same ones because I don't really feel like wearing any of these other ones today. I just put on the same one I wore. Usually I'll get washed, put back on top of the pile of shirts I have, and then worn again. I'm going to do that. Put life into the channel again. I was only available for limited box set. What I bought some time ago. Oh, nice. Yeah, the long sleeves I've got came as part of something else. I didn't purposely go out and buy the long sleeve. Is that what it's part of a promotion, or was given away, or it was something to do with another thing. I went, ah, cool, okay, I'll have the shirt. There should be 0 influence on the bottom side there. sure these are okay. Small. Should very much be hot on the shoulder, as it's a shoulder bone. Found a grindcore band that sings only about The Office. Oh, he's back. Welcome back, Lisa. Still binging, and still selling motocross. Awesome. Yeah, from what I can see, grindcore bands is just basically just a bit of fun. Grinder Muffin Inc. Nice. Creator, nice. That's a cool shirt, I like it. Grindcore mostly is political actually, just a small portion make joke bands. Okay. That's fair. Napalm Death is all about corrupt governments, etc. and anti-war. Oh. That's cool to know. I suppose in some ways grindcore's almost like a punk element to it, but rather than going down the more kind of thrashy direction, they got sort of a slightly heavier sound to it. Yeah, that works. I like that. It's basically what grindcore is. That's cool to know. Grindcore is a hybrid of hardcore punk and death metal. Nice. Yeah, I worked with a guy who was in a it wasn't quite hardcore punk, but it was pretty close to. It was more of a softer hardcore punk. So punk with death metal riffs and vocals. That's where the short song. Ah, yeah. Punk's not a very long song. Yeah, same thing when I DJ'd for lockdown, actually out in the bar and stuff. Trying to DJ punk is a very on the edge style of DJing, because you have to be 2 songs ahead in your set list in your mind, because that song's going to only be playing for about a minute or half. Because that having to like pick out the next 2 songs every time I get one song playing, so it's not an easy genre to DJ. I enjoy it though. Grindcore is very close ties to cross-punk, and that's the thing it's close to, I guess. I understand that, yeah. Yeah, because I first started out DJing punk because we had a rock night, like an alternative night. We called it a metal night, where obviously played metal, but then because genres are such a crossover with genres, and go, well, is this heavy enough to be included in a metal night? Is it like too soft? And so it says that, okay, rather than saying all that, I go, well, anything that's alternative, heavy and alternative, will play on the quote-unquote metal night. But it didn't really have an official genre attached. It's just that some people called it metal night, some people called it rock night. It was just a night at a pub where friends played heavy music. And there wasn't enough punk music for my liking. Like, it was all kind of heavy rock and metal, which is cool, but there was some people that would like a bit of punk. And I said, well, tell you what, I would do like an hour every time we have one of these nights. I'll just play like an hour of just punk music and then hand back over to the guys who really know their metal, because that's what they did. The guys that were DJing originally were like very much into metal. Like, they played in metal bands, they had a huge metal CD collections. And I was like, well, I like punk, I like metal, I like rock, I like all alternative genres, but I feel I can put a little bit of punk into this. And eventually they said, well, can you do a bit of a mixture, like you take the whole night and do punk and metal and rock? And I went, cool. That's where lockdown kind of came from. Oh, excuse me. What's your favourite punk band? 1 hour of punk, need 200 songs exactly. Like, it was intense. Like, that 1 hour of punk, I had to have a huge collection just for that 1 hour. Favourite punk band? I enjoy playing a lot of ska punk, because that's what got people dancing and stuff. So I enjoy playing a lot of Sponge. But then if I was going for like more traditional punk, what's the bands I used to play on there? I think so. I'm kind of Sponge, yeah. Was it Sponge with a U? I think it's got a U. But they have trumpets. Very uplifting band. One CD by Sponge with an E. Rotting Pinata. Nice. Yeah, I used to play what's that band? Sponge, yes. Sponge with you. Goldfinger. Oh yes, I used to play a bit of Goldfinger. Basically Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk's soundtrack. Played a lot of that kind of stuff. Because again, that's what people. It was the peak age range of people that play Tony Hawk's and into punk music. Sponge is better than Sponge, to be honest. I only have one CD since I got it as a gift. Okay. I know the song. This keyboard is still broken. In fact, it's worse than it was. I've changed it with a newer keyboard. It's pressing enter when I push the I key. I told you about that bigger shop of my father's colleague filled with CDs. So now, oh, okay. Like ska and general. Yeah, I do like ska and two-tone and sort of. I can hear the music in my head, but I can't. No, the bands are out of my head. I send you a Dutch ska band like that. Ooh, yes, that'd be cool. Destructive Penguins. Oh, I love that name. They definitely look like a British ska band, the way they're dressed. So it's obviously a certain look to a ska band. That's universal. Oh. But I can see bands in my head. I can hear the bands in my head. I just can't think of their names. Well, there's the Interrupters is a good ska band I like. They're American. The Interrupters. Used to play them quite often. Never tell you a story. I almost tell everyone about my father's time in ska band. Ooh. I can't recall if you have. You might have done. I just can't recall. Can't recall a lot of things at the moment. How every 4 or 5 songs the saxophone player had to empty his saxophone. 1 litre of spit. Oh no. I never thought about having to empty the saxophone. Still a little bit of influence going on the back there. Yeah, some weird stuff going on. Why has that not got a... He likes to tell it during dinner. Oh, lovely. Both of those got the same issue. At least that side's fine. Yeah, so it says only going to be twisting slightly. That's not too bad. So that right arm looks alright. The right arm? There's the left arm. It's basically flinging himself with the other. No story from touring with his band when he was young. I like to tell people at dinner that they had 3-litre beer cans, very tall, and the whole band would take a sip all in turns until the last bit was more spit than beer, and they would call that the slime. Oh, last person has to drink it. Oh, lovely. So the joys of being in a band, I suppose. Only 3 days of noise month left. Ooh, exciting stuff. Listen to all of it? Nope. I really have not listened to much at all. Only one person likes my noise. It's not even myself. That's impressive in itself, that is. I hate it. Yeah, I suppose the whole point of the project is to make something emotionally charged. It's unlistenable and it makes me feel nervous. That's fair enough. I like creating. That's the main thing, I suppose. It's there to be created and not to be appreciated. It serves its purpose. And noise is not a genre to listen to, but I have one friend, he is weird, he likes listening to noise. When he tells me he likes what I made, then I am like, but why? But why? It always reminds me of Ryan Reynolds in that one movie, was it Howard and Kumar Go to White Castle, or Howard and Kumar Get the Munchies, depending on which country you're in. Ryan Reynolds is a surgeon in a hospital. He says we need to get so many grams of cannabis to help the patients. And Ryan Reynolds says, but why? Don't ask questions, just do it, doctor. Okay, I think I've fixed that. But what was your own favourite punk band? Only tell me what you like DJing. Yeah, it's a tough to kind of say. I don't really own a lot of any particular punk band. Some of my main genres, so it's hard for me to decide as well. Yeah. I like Flint, which was Keith Flint from the Prodigy's side project. He never actually released the album, but the album made it online. So I've downloaded it. There's a lot of stuff that gets reused in Apologies music. So that was quite cool. That's like an album I've downloaded and listened to many times, and I would have purchased if he did actually put it on sale. I usually have a favourite punk band, but then the frontman raised my eyes. Yeah, that kind of puts you off the band. Most of my favourite punk bands are Anti-Flag. Oh, okay, yeah. Have I seen Anti-Flag? I might have seen Anti-Flag at some stage. I think they might have played at Solid Sphere. Was it Anti-Flag? Yeah. Yeah, done with them now. Yeah, don't blame me. But yeah, there isn't really many punk bands that I would sit and watch. Rise Against, does that count? That's too pop punk nowadays. Yeah, that's the thing, when you think punk, you go, there's pop punk, there's ska punk. Like, I've seen Sponge at least twice, maybe 3 times live. So I enjoyed them. Oh, minus Self-Indulgence, I suppose. more of electro punk. Yeah, I suppose if you count Mind the Self-Indulgence, they're probably my favourite punk band. Because I own a lot of their CDs and I've seen them live. I always forget about them. I could tell you my favourite band in every metal subgenre though. That's easy for me. Yeah, I couldn't even tell you sort of more than like new metal is about as far as I could subgenre into metal. Punk's difficult, yeah. But yeah, I'd say Mind the Self-Indulgence as an electro punk. We share a favourite new metal band, yeah. Yes, because I kind of grew up around a lot of new metal. And then so new metal's a very easy subgenre to kind of fall into. And I then kind of picked up metal from new metal. You go, oh, what's this heavier, older stuff? And then just kind of appreciating kind of older metal. Yeah, hopefully I show a good rest tonight. Do you know my favourite punk band, I guess? I do know my favourite punk, I guess. Starfucking Hipsters. It also has Scotland. Ooh. That name sounds pretty cool. Don't think I've come across them before. Ska, punk, hardcore, punk hybrid side project from people from Leftover Crack. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know of Leftover Crack. I haven't listened to much of them. They're from Choking Victim. All the punk band names. I suppose it's easier for people in punk bands to kind of switch and have different projects quite easily. Can we reset the pose? Favorite new metal is definitely Slipknot. No close contenders there. Yeah. No, I can't recall how many times I've even seen Slipknot now, for certain. But I've enjoyed every single one of them. I can, once or twice. Yeah, Slipknot is best new metal, no doubt, indeed. I like other new metal, but nothing quite Slipknot level. Yeah, because I like Korn sort of as a new metal. I like a little bit of Limp Bizkit. Favorite metalcore, favorite deathcore, Whitechapel. I don't know. I'm not sure what bands actually come under metalcore. I probably know some bands in the metalcore. I just don't know their subgenres. We can't get in tickets for direct live stream. I have seen Slipknot twice. Nice. If I can actually type anything. I'll take this keyboard off again and try. Blender reset pose. Favorite metalcore is Rise to Remain. Nice. Yeah, I know a little bit of Rise to Remain. Alt R, reset all rotations. Ah, okay. That's the thing, there's so many shortcut keys on Blender. It's like, oh yeah, just Alt R. But then that's for this one specific situation. Alt R is something completely different when you click on this, click on that, and select that. No way you can learn all these. But that's why if you're doing the same kind of tasks over and over, you don't end up using everything in Blender. Deathcore, definitely Whitechapel as well. Favorite metalcore is Architects. I do like metalcore a lot, so other bands are cool. Architects best by far. Looking forward to actually seeing a bit of Architects at Download Festival. Favorite post hardcore is Stick to Your Guns. Ooh. I'm not sure if I've come across those. Now, what I'm going to do, if I'm pretty happy with that, I'm going to go save as. Let's go Golem. Let's go into. That means that's kind of the default rock golems going to them. So if I make all golems using this, then can guarantee they're all going to behave the same way. And I can just apply some unique animations depending on what they are. That's what I'm going with. Like time. I'll probably wrap up the stream shortly because I've got where I want it to be, which is fully weight painting and rigging. This it doesn't look like much, but what I'll do next stream is actually put some rock shapes onto this. We go back to object mode. Yeah, so this is the only add-on I really have for Blender is this. Where you can just pick out stuff like, look at this, like people have made these in Blender. And some of them you can look at and go, okay, yeah, I can tell that's a Blender model, but others it's like, wow. My favourite homoerotic band is Rammstein. Some people get angry when I say that since they think it means to insult them, but I do not. I like Rammstein. But I do think everything they do comes off very, very gay. And that's fine. Rammstein saying, oh yes, I've seen Rammstein twice now live, and the whole performance is sexual. And you say that the fact they're wearing leathers and they're very stereotypical kind of. I don't mean that early 2000s. I really mean gay. Yeah, like I remember one of the performances. I can't remember the lead singer's name now. But he drag queen gay. Yeah, he had like a foam cannon at the front of the stage, like this big foam cannon, and he basically straddled this cannon. So the cannon was between his legs, pointing out towards the crowd, and he basically piloted this thing, turned it around, just sprayed white foam over the crowds. Yes, been on that tour. Awesome. Yeah, I just remember seeing that and go, okay, that's pretty fun. I remember him cooking the keyboard player in a big pot as well. It was really kind of like the whole performance was quite abusive towards the keyboard player. Manowar was also very homoerotic. Oh, have I seen Manowar? I've listened to Manowar. I don't think I can't recall I've seen him live. They can't stop us. Let them try. For heavy metal, we will die. Yes, I know that. I've definitely listened to Manowar. I'll send you a pic and tell me if it's not 80s softcore porn. Well, that's a nice archway. Oh yes. Are they even oiled? Looks like they've been oiled up in baby oil or something. Supposedly they're all straight and married and shit. But when they're out of the guys, what happens is what happens, I suppose. But yeah, I ain't buying it. Nah. Especially there's that moustache on the guy in the centre. If Nick's asked, tell Nick that this is Jeffrey and some of his friends when he's younger. Cool. Ooh, mossy rock. Yeah, a lot of these rocks are very realistic. Oh, look at that. My game is not going to be photorealistic, so a lot of these are just not. Like, if I want to make a photorealistic, look, that rock wall looks like it's photographic. Like, these people are just uploading it for it to be used as reference or to be integrated with something. The texturing on there alone, amazing. But yeah, if I want to make it like a photorealistic looking golem, I've got plenty of things to work with. Scan rock roadblock. Okay, so that's a scan. Somebody's actually scanned that and put that into Blender. Gororoth is one of my favourite black metal bands, and black metal is one of the more xenophobic subgenres. Yeah, that's a shame, yeah. The vocalist opening gay. Interesting. I always find that weird that somebody who's part of a minority would end up having a prejudice towards others. No, they're not, but the genre itself, but not Gorov. Okay, that's fair. But yeah, I always find that kind of weird generally if people are. Ooh, big rock. Let's scale that a little bit. Since opening game within a genre where it is not very accepted, he's got Game Man of the Year award once. Nice. Yeah, but it's to actually put yourself out there and go, well, I'm gonna put myself under attack here by being open about it. It's got to take some guts. Say 90% of the Nazi metal bands fall within the black metal genre, but not Gorov. Not my own band either, by the way, of course, yeah. Almost looks like a fist, that, doesn't it? I'm not saying it's a big part of black metal. Yeah, I suppose it's just kind of like just how it ends up. Small part of the subgenre. Yeah. It's weird that whenever Nazis want to make music, they always make black metal and not new metal or death metal. Yeah. They seem to be attracted to it, I suppose. That's kind of like a nice fist-like rock. Got them. Can we duplicate? Maybe since black metal likes Vikings and shit, and they translate that into European values, Nordic white roots or something. Yeah, there's got to be some kind of a belief that there's superiority in that particular type of music. Could do with swapping those around, man. Come on. big majority of the it comes from Eastern Europe and Finland. Ah, yeah, Nazi black metal comes from Eastern Europe. Interesting. That is right. Just quickly see how this works, and then I'll we'll wrap the stream up from there. So I bet you we go into pose mode now. They're going to stay exactly where that is, because I've not some. Cool, and that's fine. We can actually parent these. Control P, okay. So select those ones, and then that one. And then go Control P. Parent to keep transform, we got transform. You can see the amount of bird seeds on this rock. I'll have to decimate it a little bit so the it's not quite as detailed, and then use a shader to make it look a bit more textured rather than using the vertices for it. But this is kind of what I'm hoping, that by making this entire object attached to this bone, like it's not deforming the object, it's just moving the entire object. So to the player, this one lump of rock is being moved. It's not being manipulated, it's not being deformed. It's not bending, it's not twisting, not stretching. It's just being moved when the bone moves. You need to be paired to it first. I'll have to come back and do this next time, but we're making progress. Let's go to the full camera. Then we'll carry on with this next Wednesday. Well, thank you all for joining us today. We've had just over 3 hours for streaming, which is pretty good for me. It's been a joy to talk to you all, so thank you for being here. We'll get this golem worked out, and we'll have a nice fun thing to play with. Once I worked out this one golem, then we can make many golems. Goodbye. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Phoenix Bot, and Cobbler Live who popped in, and Teensy who was in earlier. Do appreciate it all, and everyone who's been lurking. I'll see the names on the side there. I appreciate you all as well. Good night. Stream was epic as always. Thank you, Lisa. I hope you have a good week. Have a great rest of the week. You too. I'll be back on Friday doing some Unity stuff. Until then, have a good week, have a good evening, good night. I'll see you on Friday. Good night.